It's time to wrap up the first project in the Baby Lock's Love of Sewing Challenge. As many of you know, I've been working on this hobo tote. During my last video, I promised you a special memento to add as the finishing touch of this tote. Well, let's take a look inside. You'll see that in the lining I've done some embroidery, and it's a special embroidery that's free to you. The love of sewing is our common thread. It's a phrase I've used ever since I started to teach sewing and quilting. If you'd like to download this free embroidery design, you can go to babylock.com/love of sewing challenge, and it'll be yours for the using. So if you'd like to embroider it directly on the lining, I'll give you those hints right now. Rather than cutting out the lining piece, I traced out the shape with a fabric marking pen on the fabric. And it's in a black light line. And then I hooped the fabric. Before hooping, I added a stabilizer to the underside, and it's a no-show mesh fusible. Say that fast 10 times. No-show mesh fusible that's fused onto the back. I like to use that to give this cotton fabric by Riley Blake a little bit more stability. And then that way I can get the embroidery close to the shaping without worrying about having the fabric loose in the hoop. So I'll attach this just using the small hoop, this hoop to the machine, and lock it down. And the embroidery is already on my screen. The love of sewing is our common thread. So I'm ready to do the embroidery of this. And before I do this, I want to make sure I have the hoop positioned correctly, and I'm going to use the trace feature, which is available, and I'll simply depress that, and after depressing it, it will trace around the design, just kind of an invisible tracing, so I can see where that design is going. And I can tell it's not too close to the top of the cutout area or the area that will be cut out, and I kind of like where it is. If you'd like to give your project a little security, I'm going to add a second stabilizer, a tearaway soft stabilizer, and I'm just going to slip this underneath the area that can be torn away later on. I have my little card there so I know exactly what it is, and then I'll lower the presser foot, and all I need to do now is to start sewing. This will take about 13 minutes to stitch out, and it's very quick. And you can adapt it not only to this project, but to any other sewing project that you would maybe like to make a label for a quilt, for a gift that you're giving away. It's something that I hope that you will enjoy, and then you'll remember this Love of Sewing Challenge. Well, that just about wraps up the first project in Baby Lock's challenge, and thank you especially to Baby Lock, Madeira Thread, Class A Needles, and Riley Blake Designs for making this special online event possible. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.